If we will all build together. That's the title of this video, and I took that from the old Sunday school song, If We All Will Pull Together. I don't know if you grew up in church, if you remember that. In fact, I don't even know who I'm speaking to exactly, but if we all will pull together, it goes, if we all will pull together, together, if we all will pull together, how happy we'll be. For my work is your work, and our work is God's work. If we all will pull together, how happy we'll be. You're welcome. Now, so what is this about? If we will all build together. Well, we after the property was secured and we began to clear the land immediately next to us on the lower level of the two levels of the property that we had obtained, we decided to build an outbuilding, and it was not large. It's about, I think, 1,600 square feet is all, but it provided us some classrooms. We put a little extra kitchen thing in there, but it gave us like 3 classrooms, maybe 4, 3. I guess one was a bigger hall, a bigger room that we could use, and it was all for our children's ministry, but it also would hold other meetings like a women's meeting or a Bible study or whatever. So it's just a really good functional building. It was a small thing, but it was a first step. And my vision for it was that we'll use this until we build another larger building, and then use that building for our offices. So that's kind of what I had in my mind. I had it all schematic for it in my mind, and however we left to go overseas before that came to fruition. But in any event, we decided to go ahead with it. Church voted, yeah, let's build this outbuilding here, the second building, and give us some more classroom space. So we broke ground and basically started, and how it all came together was there was a couple of brothers, father and son, who owned an excavation company in town, and they said, Roger and Doug said, we'll do all the leach lines and everything for the septic tank. We'll do all the excavation for the building. And so we got the permits. And that was interesting, too, because there was a guy who, given the permits, who was apparently a bit gnarly. And when I told the guys, we had a couple contractors in the church, and when I told them that this person's name, that he was the one that's going to come out and do the inspection, he said, "Oh man, he's the toughest, and he's not always really happy to be out there. But all the best, Pastor. We better pray." So the guy came out, and he started, and he was, just what they said, he was a bit cantankerous, and so he was saying, "Well, that's not the lines start too close to where the building's going to be." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. Let's call Doug." Or Roger, and because they're the ones that mapped all that out, and you know these men, right? He goes, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Well, that's what they said. I can't tell you, but it seems to me that when I talked to them about it, that they had done it properly. But if not, well then fine, we'll change it, And so he goes, "Well, let me see," and then it turns out it was fine. I don't know what he was calculating before, but it turns out it was just fine. It was right, and we kept going. I said, "Listen, sir, I don't know you, and I don't know what your experience is and everything, but I want you to know that I want to do the right thing, and I think our people do, and more than one of them, a handful of the guys from my church, because they're builders and that." I said, "We want to do the right thing," and I said, if this thing is wrong, and there's an issue in the middle of the night, are they going to call you or are they going to call me? I think they're going to call me. So I want to do the right thing just because it's the right thing to do, but I also want to do the right thing because I would like to not have the issues that would come by doing it wrong, because I think you're trying to make us do it the right way. And so he kind of calmed down a little bit, and I said, we talked, and he goes, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "I just, we lost our secretary, and I got to do all the other paperwork and everything myself." And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, that's tough." I said, "I got a couple of secretaries that volunteer, and I really, I'd be lost without them. I mean, they just do so much for me, and I can appreciate what a load that would be for me, and I'm sorry for that. I really am." So Sunday called around, and 2 or 3 days later it's Sunday, and the guy said, "So how did it go with the inspector?" I said, "Well, it started out like you said, but it finished pretty good." He said that I'd have it the first of the week, and he said, "No, no, you're never going to get it the first of the week. You'll be good to get it in 2 or 3. It'll be good to get it in 2 or 3 weeks if he actually passes us on the inspection." I said, "Okay, well, I'm just telling you what he said." He said, "No, that's just not his MO." So on Monday morning, we got the word that we passed the inspection, and from then on out, we never had a problem with this guy. I don't know. I think we had another dealing with him after that. But everybody was really amazed. And what really was outstanding about this whole thing is the brothers provided all the excavation and all that. Another one of our farmers in the church, he and his son, they donated the concrete. His family, and he and his sons did all the work on putting the foundation in and the footings. One of the brothers was an electrician, had his own company, and he said, "I'll do all the electric work, the labor, and all the necessary things, right down to the light bulbs. I'll do that." Somebody else said, "Well, I'll do all the infrastructure, the for the wood and all the inside," and so that was paid for. That was given. Another brother said, "Well, I'll give the insulation. I can't a couple." And so Ron and Nancy said, "Well, we'll give the insulation, and somebody else can put it in." And so one of the guys said, "Well, look, I really I want to do that. I can't really give. It'd be tough for me to give beyond a little bit toward the building, and because people were giving donations as well, because we were buying some things." But he said, I'd like to do that by myself. That's the only stipulation." I said, "Knock yourself out, Paul." So one guy did all the installation, and he did it really quickly, so it wasn't a problem. Another guy in the church had a drywall business, and he did all the sheetrock in there, and had a couple of his employees. They did it all, and they put all the sheetrock in. And I said, "Well, thanks, Steve. That was kind of cool." Another brother, his family, he says, "We'll do the roofing." And I said, "Okay." Well. So they donated all the roofing. And then another, let's see, I think it was Doug and Roger who did the excavation. They did all the plumbing, and so we didn't pay anything for all the plumbing, parts and labor, all the electricity, all the infrastructure in there, the insulation work, the drywall, the roof. I think we might have paid for the lumber, or if not all, or most of the lumber. But that's how it got built, and it was extremely satisfying. And it was not a huge building, but we built it completely debt free by some of the money we had given for lumber and all whatever. But all the major things were donated by different people, and there was a huge amount of satisfaction in that. And I think we just all felt, look how we've built together. Look how we blessed one another. And it was, in my experience, in building projects and churches and all that, I just couldn't have gone any better than that. And we were grateful to the Lord that He put us in a position to where we had to have donations. But I just love the way it came together. And actually, I'm not really sure. I guess I got started by the fact that the brothers donated the excavation work and all that kind of stuff, and then like I said, I'll do the concrete because they were friends, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And yeah, that's how we built together. And that building, to be honest, I don't know how it's being used, but it's one of now. There's like 2 or 3 other buildings besides that, but that's how the building growth at least started, and that was really a happy experience. I still feel good about that when I think about it and talk about it.